system.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the heelist of Balor, Sim Balor, Prince Balor. If you all know the rest by now, I don't know. Well, do you know the rest by now? I really don't know if you do, but if you don't, well, welcome to the Losers Lounge podcast. I am your co-host, obviously, if you guys know me, and I'm here with a very good friend of mine. He is the optimistic leader, Christian freaking Maracle.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely wonderful. It feels good that after all this time apart, the Losers is back.
Well, a little bit.
A little bit,
yeah, we're
yes,
back.
because it's just us two today, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Double R Wrestler Ryan has got some business to take care of, but he sends everybody his love, and he sends everybody, well, his apologies for not making it, but he loves y'all very much.
Exactly. Love you, Ryan.
We love you, Connor. We love you, Kelsey. Connor has tried in the past to try and get back, but unfortunately his schedule has been a little too busy. And Kelsey, we could just say she's pretty much done appearing on the podcast, right?
Yeah, so stop asking in the comments, where's Kelsey?
Her name is still on the intro because she still means a lot to us, and she's a loser for life.
Exactly. We're not going to remove her from the intro.
Nope.
No, we didn't fire her, so calm down. Anyways.
I just need to make a quick note of something. Let's see. Nope, nothing over there. Nothing over there. Okay, Long Neck Josh is not in this one.
Are you sure? Because the last time we did a podcast, which was actually last week, we had interference.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm sorry I left the door unlocked. That was my bad. Okay? Can you just get over it, please?
Did you lock it this time?
Yes, I locked it. Okay. The door's locked. Let me just check. Yeah, it's locked.
All right, good. Just making sure. Look around.
Good.
Not over there.
Can we please drop this?
All right, we're good.
Can we please drop it now?
Fine. We'll drop it, but this better not happen again.
It won't. I promise. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk and review the events of what went down at the horror show at Extreme Rules.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest. First off, they actually did a good job in doing their best to fit the title of the horror show at Extreme Rules.
They did.
Even if at times it wasn't horror-filled, there were many moments where it was, and we'll get to that soon. But I must say, I admit this Extreme Rules was a little lackluster compared to the recent pay-per-views we watched. However, they actually had a good balance between stipulations and non-stipulated matches.
Oh, they did.
I mean, think about this. Tables match, singles match, eye for an eye, singles, Extreme Rules, swamp fight.
Yep.
So they kept a good balance between stipulations and non-stipulations. And that's the one thing we were hoping for, actually. This one and that one and this one and that one. There we go. Now,
yes.
Here's how things are going to kick off. We're going to kick things off with the first match that took place on the card. But before we get started, we just want to take this moment to say, as always, go follow and subscribe to each member of the Losers Lounge.
Yes, sir.
Links are all in the description. And let's get started. We kick things off with a tables match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles where the New Day, the world-famous 8-time champs, defended against Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Your winners and the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Willie, your thoughts?
Pretty fun match. I got the prediction wrong, surprisingly. I actually thought New Day was going to retain, but surprisingly, Cesaro and Nakamura. For whatever reason, during the match, I kept calling them the Bar. Because I was like, it's obvious Sheamus usually used to tag with Cesaro.
Yeah.
I kept calling them the Bar.
Hey, after they won, there was a moment where Cesaro actually did do the bar pose.
Yeah.
And then forgot that he wasn't with Sheamus. He was probably like, whoops, this was awkward.
Don't tell me that.
You do not want to be in an awkward position like that.
Nah.
Before we continue, I just want to say, did you know that the pattern continues for Shinsuke Nakamura? At every Extreme Rules he's ever appeared in, he's won a championship. In 2018, he won the U.S. title from Jeff Hardy. 2019, the Intercontinental title from Finn Balor. And now this year, a tag team title with Cesaro from New Day.
Still waiting for the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship. But,
that could be next year. Let's make sure he challenges a world title next year then. He'll become a Grand Slam champ at each Extreme Rules.
He deserves it.
Yeah, it's quite possible he could.
Crazy.
Anyways, back to your thoughts on the match.
As I said, it was pretty fun. I got the prediction wrong, obviously. Kofi Kingston, man, like people don't give Kofi enough credit. That man, like, he did some weird spots during this match. So he did the trust fall. There was this big, huge spear that Big E does through the ropes, where I almost thought he broke his neck. Which, stop doing that, please.
Yeah,
he almost did it twice to both competitors in Cesaro and Nakamura, but like he obviously that failed. I wonder what happened if that connected, but. I just want to give praise to both men out there. All of them in the match, man. Kofi and Big E are the freaking stars, in my opinion, of that match. Like, wow. And Cesaro, too. And Nakamura. Yeah.
And, of course, there was the ending spot where Cesaro, with Elba Nakamura, gave Kofi a powerbomb through 2 tables to end the match.
That gave me Shield vibes for some reason.
Yeah, except we never seen it through a double table.
Exactly.
When was the last time we saw a double table spot?
That
long? Wow. I guess that's the one way of putting it. We were like, that long, huh?
Yeah.
Well, my thoughts on the match. I also predicted New Day to retain the titles because I didn't really see Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro to be tag team champions. But hey, I got proven wrong, and Cesaro's now what? I think a 7-time tag team champ. He's been champs 5 times, I believe, with Sheamus, or was it 4? I don't know. But either way, a lot of times. And 1 time with Tyson Kidd, and now with Nakamura. Cesaro's been a multiple-time tag champ.
It's crazy.
But what I'm also really impressed is, I know everybody, almost anybody, wants Cesaro to be pushed to the mainstream status, close to world titles, or maybe at least an Intercontinental title run. But actually, what I like is the fact that Cesaro, he ain't complaining about his spot at all.
Yeah, true. I mean,
I'm thinking Cesaro is actually enjoying it because he's having the time of his life in the WWE.
Yeah, personally, I like him as a tag team competitor. That's just me. He's a great singles competitor. Don't get me wrong, but he's pretty good as a tag team specialist out there.
I remember when we thought his alliance with Sheamus would never work out, and look how that turned out.
Oh, yeah.
The Bar ended up being one of the best tag teams in recent memory.
Yep.
So, congrats to Nakamura and Cesaro on becoming the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I must say, though, New Day, I still can't believe, they've gotten so many tag team titles in their run. I'm thinking it's time other people deserve a chance, right?
Oh, definitely, dude.
Unfortunately, other tag teams like the Usos are out because I believe it was Jimmy that's got the injury.
Yep.
Well, it's a shame when this type of stuff happens, but, it is what it is. Things happen in wrestling, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's a complain and moan and groan on the internet like a freaking mark.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, the next match, we're going to move on to the next match, folks, and this was for the SmackDown Women's Championship as Bayley defended and retained against Nikki Cross in a match that Longneck Josh said last week we should not overlook. So we did not overlook the match, and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I get you, Josh. I know you're watching, Josh. I was wrong. I was wrong a little about this match. I was pretty much blown away by it. I mean, not like it wasn't a 5-star classic, but there was some moves in there. I was like, why didn't they bust this out on SmackDown or Raw? Because they were doing stuff in there. I was just amazed at. I was like, wow, okay, this is cool. This is something I've never seen before. We need more of that, please.
Yeah,
it was a good match.
Yes. Nikki Cross proved in the match that she has she has what it takes to do really good in the ring, and it was absolutely good to see the motivation she was given not just by Alexa Bliss, but Raw Women's Champ Asuka and even Kairi Sane.
Yep.
That was it's always really good to get motivation from your peers, huh?
Yep.
All right. Yes, as we know, Bayley retained the title due to cheating tactics, as always. But you know what? It's all right because that's kind of what heels do, huh? Use the brass knucks that Sasha Banks always wears.
I call them the boss knucks because that's boss on it, obviously.
Yeah, makes sense, honestly.
Yeah.
So, I must say, I think if it hadn't been for that, I think Cross could have been closer to winning the championship, honestly.
Oh, pretty much. They had me believing she was going to win.
Bayley continues to be champion. She's closing in on near 300 days in her current reign. Only five. She only had, like I said, like if it hadn't been for her losing that title to Charlotte Flair for 5 days in Hell in a Cell, then wow, she would have been champion for close to 500 days by now.
Yep, would have surpassed Becky Lynch.
Yep. Well, she has surpassed overall Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
In both Raw and SmackDown titles combined.
Yep.
But I will say I did not expect Bayley to hold on to the title so long. And last week I want to take a note of something. Last week we also said that the whole thing about Bayley and Sasha as the women's tag champs weren't defending much. I saw some comments that reminded us they actually have defended the titles like 5 times in 4 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoops. Actually, I don't even know if it was 4. I don't think it was 4 months. No, I think I'm going too far. But they defended the titles at least 4 or 5 times. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT.
Yep.
I think they were literally like the only team to have ever done that. Even in their first reign, they did that, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sorry if our memory is not good, but the women's tag team titles are just not that memorable. What do you want from us?
Like, seriously, they were only brought in to appease a certain, I don't know, freaking demographic or whatever, or something like that. That's the only reason they were brought in. I had high hopes for the women's tag team championships, but they're pretty much nothing but trinkets.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyways, your thoughts on Bayley's win in the SmackDown tag title match? SmackDown women's title match, sorry.
Like I said, very predictable, but it was a really good match. We all expected Sasha Banks to get involved. She didn't really get involved that much in that. She only got involved, I think, twice. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, Alexa was out there doing her thing. And, I like the little motivational speech they had before the match. Like they were backstage with, I think, Dana Brooke and somebody else. I don't know who it was. But they had a little motivational speech Alexa gave to Nikki Cross. And I was like, I was actually thinking, is Alexa going to turn? So I was thinking about that. She's like, this is my moment. She didn't say it was our moment. She was saying it was my moment. I was like, wait a minute. Is she going to turn heel? Didn't happen, though. But that's what I was thinking. But
I'm thinking maybe they did that. I'm thinking that maybe they did that just to throw us off or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because we didn't see an ounce of a heel. I was even thinking she was going to turn heel afterwards. But that didn't happen either.
All right. Well, here's a very interesting thing I actually thought about. The thing is, this is my opinion. I just don't see Alexa Bliss as a good face.
Nah, I'm going to have to agree with that myself, Chris. I think the problem is that she's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Ditzy, I guess?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, somewhat ditzy. I don't know.
Like, here's the thing. She didn't really do well when she was the Tinkerbell gimmick.
Oh, God. Please don't remind me of that.
NXT. However, I really like how... I really miss one of her former nicknames, the Wicked Witch of the WWE.
Those were good times. She does a lot better as a heel.
Yeah.
Way a lot better as a heel.
Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure. Alexa Bliss is really good. And here's the thing. People can go ahead and complain all they want saying Alexa can't wrestle. Well, here's the thing. That's your opinion, but we don't disrespect like that.
Nah, we respect opinions. We just don't agree with them sometimes. If you think Alexa Bliss is a terrible wrestler, that's fine. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. But for me, I think she's pretty good. She's not that bad in the ring. I mean, she's no. Let me think if I can figure out somebody.
She's no Charlotte Flair.
Y'all pick on Charlotte too much. Charlotte's good too, but she's no Charlotte Flair. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Alexa's good.
We don't have a problem. Here's the thing. The only big things we have a problem with Charlotte Flair was all the title match. We got no problem with the way she wrestles.
Except for Moonsault, in my opinion. Moonsault sucks. What are we saying? Moving on.
Yeah. Anyways, yep. Bayley's still the SmackDown Women's Champion. Her loyalty with Sasha Banks continues, and I'm actually glad for once we did not have the interviewer, Charlie Caruso, or was it Caleb Braxton? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
I don't know which one it was. But actually, I think it was Caleb Braxton, the one who kept constantly, for 3 pay-per-views in a row, asking, are you guys going to break up, or is this affecting your relationship? I'm actually glad for once she did not ask that question.
Thank God. I'm so tired of them doing that. Are you going to break up? Are you going to break up? Like we said last week, it ruins the story. Mm-hmm. Making me not see them break up, man. Come on.
Yep. All right. we're going to move on. This is a match that did not exactly happen, but here's something that went down. Apollo Crews, the United States Championship situation with MVP. I was confused when that whole situation happened because MVP and Lashley came out with that brand new United States Championship and declared himself the winner by forfeit. I thought this was going to be one where Apollo was just going to, show up right before MVP announced himself as the new United States Champion, and then they attacked, and then they'd have the match. That never happened. They say that, and on the commentary team states that Apollo Crews was unable to compete after failing a pre-match physical due to Bobby's previous attacks on him. The reality, of course, is Apollo Crews has COVID-19.
Yep. Another one bites the dust with COVID-19.
And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. It's understandable. But we want to say if this is true, we want to say we send our best wishes to Apollo Crews.
Thoughts, prayers, condolences, whatever you want to say. Just we're sending it all out to him.
Condolences goes for people who died.
Oh, well, thoughts, prayers.
That was awkward.
You're so stupid.
Yeah, but in reality, here's the thing. This United States title change is not recognized by the WWE, however. Oh. And if Apollo has COVID, he's going to be out for a few more weeks at least.
Yep.
So, honestly, they should just strip him. Or just give it to MVP and make it official. I don't care. But we don't want another situation like with what happened with Andrade. A suspension and injuries, and he still kept the U.S. title.
Exactly.
I know Apollo does not deserve to. Apollo does not deserve to lose the title by means of a forfeit. No, he does not. However, sometimes it just is what it is.
Just I hate saying this. Just strip him of the freaking title, and he can win it when he gets better. Simple. Yeah. Have him. And MVP's been the best part of Raw, in my opinion.
Yeah, actually, he has. I like his his stint as an occasional wrestler, but he's still active very much. He claims to be the United States champion, even though he's not.
Exactly.
I'll be honest, though, from my perspective, sure, I can look at MVP and say, yep, he's U.S. champ, but it's not recognized, so I guess we just gotta wait until it does become official, if it does, anyway, or if Apollo Crews is gonna make a big return, show up with the original title belt, retain the championship, and then just take the new one.
Yep.
But hey. Like we always said, it is what it is. So there's really nothing to say about this situation because it never happened. It wasn't even a match.
Exactly.
However, we're going to move on to the next match, and this was where the horror really begun. An eye for an eye match with Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio.
Oh my God, this match.
I'm going to say, throughout the match, here's like, I was in Virginia last week watching the show with my brother, Long Neck Josh. And I'll be perfectly honest, throughout many moments of this match, I felt nauseous. I don't
feel nauseous during it. I was like, this is some weird, straight up weird stuff.
The reason I felt nauseous is just because the very thought of that.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that, the reason I said I felt nauseous wasn't because it was bad. A lot of people said that's why they felt nauseous. It was because they thought it was a bad of a match. In my opinion, it could have been better, sure, but think about it. Yeah. It's a match where the only way to win is to pluck out your opponent's eye. It's not exactly something that we can easily look epic or, oh my God!
Exactly.
Because we're not actually pulling out people's eyes.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Here's the thing. When it comes to buried alive matches, that's a different story because we already know there's some sort of opening that the wrestlers can get out of before the earth goes in.
Yep.
People don't actually get buried alive in those cases. And just like an eye for an eye match, I'll be honest, the one thing I liked about this was the fact that it was an original stipulation, something we haven't really seen. We'd never seen before.
Nope.
And I thought for a while that if Rey Mysterio was going to lose, which he did, I figured it was going to be he'll lose the other eye and he'll be completely blind. But it was his originally injured eye that got popped out.
Yep.
And we saw, here's the thing, when it happened, when the situation happened, yes, we saw brief glimpses of the fake eye, but I'm actually glad they made it small glimpses to not make it totally obvious.
Yep.
And
you obviously saw the fake eyeball there, but it really didn't ruin the illusion. To me, it kind of did, but that's just me.
Yeah, did people actually, I'm going to ask the viewers this. Did Joe actually think you would see Ray with an empty eye socket?
But come on, we ain't gonna go. This isn't CZW. This is not freaking hardcore, freaking weird wrestling out there.
That's like
this is a company and a product that really wouldn't go to that lengths at sports entertainment or whatever.
And like I said as well, it's just like when Rey Mysterio, whenever he loses his mask, do you expect to see his full face in full view? No, you don't.
Exactly. Ruins the illusion, even though we've seen his face before. Many times, but whatever. Just ruins the illusion.
We have seen his face, but anytime we did, like in a situation where his mask was ripped off, it was only a brief split-second glimpse, not a big, huge view for like 5 seconds.
I remember at Extreme Rules 2009, I think it was 2009, I believe, where Rey Mysterio lost the Intercontinental title to Chris Jericho in a mask versus title match.
Yep.
And remember... And, obviously you didn't see Ray's face, but you saw him, like, covering his face, stuff like that. You just saw his eye, and that was it.
Yep.
That's another example. You read many times when the show lost his mask, and it was saw his face. But still.
Here's the thing. Seth Rollins performed the curb stomp on Ray and then placed his already injured eye in the corner of steel steps, causing it to pop out. And that gives Seth the win. The one thing I really like was Seth's acting, and what really made me queasy was the vomit.
Oh my god, that didn't have me vomiting or any queasy or anything like that. That had me laughing so freaking hard. I don't know why.
Seth
that was just so
sold it very well. I give full props to Seth Rollins.
Oh, Sam, like he freaking sold the heck out of that, and like just the aftermath, like them carting Ray away and all that.
I really like how Seth looked to go do more damage, and then when his face from looking determined and evil, it suddenly turned to fright and disgust, and he just turned away. At that moment, I was like, "Yep, it's over. It's over." I was like, "It's over. It's over. Ring the bell. Get Ray some help."
He's just like, and he starts vomiting all over the place. The one thing I did love about the match, like a few of my favorite spots, I love the spot where they placed the kendo stick, like to where it's pointed outwards, and he's about to jam Ray's face into it, literally.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Josh, my brother Josh and I, we cringed in pain several times at any time that was happening because I was like, oh, God, this is so brutal.
I know he tried to stab his freaking eye out with the point of a chair, which I thought was cool. I loved Rollins' entrance. This had me laughing so hard. I don't know why. But his entrance was just hilarious. Him just coming out with with freaking pliers, and just looking at the pliers, and he's like, I'm going to do damage with these. I was laughing so freaking hard.
He's going to do damage with the pliers, and he never did. He had the pliers, and then they were never seen again.
Yeah, I was really thinking he's going to freaking rip his eye out with that. That's what I really, really thought was going to happen. And the one thing that I will criticize WWE a little bit on was, they mentioned, well, I guess they were like, actually, no, I shouldn't blame WWE for this. I should blame the freaking stupid rumors and whatever, the dirt sheets out there. Where the heck was all the CGI? Where was all the CGI during the freaking eye ripping out or whatever that was?
Yeah, I really
think morons.
I really think they could have possibly, in my opinion, they could have possibly done that if they could, but I think it would have taken a lot more time. I know this match, a lot of the show was live, but this one is obviously pre-recorded. My opinion, they could have done better, and that's okay. The fact that I'll be honest, I enjoyed it for what it was. The fact that I was disgusted and a little uncomfortable watching it, I think that was what they were aiming for.
That's the whole meaning of this match and the whole storyline around it. I love how Dominic came out and let's hope we're going to be getting some with Dominic in the future and Seth Rollins, but I loved how he came out and just checked on his father and stuff like that. I loved how Seth sold pretty much the ending of the entire thing. He's like, wow, I did that. He started vomiting.
Yeah, after throwing up, he was slowly walking up the stage, still grasping his stomach.
Oh my god, that was so funny. Match was great.
And I will say that I think adding in the vomit was a great touch because it just showed like how much it's a disgusting
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Like
Although I made a
you're
fun,
not gonna go out there on the street and start freaking pulling people's eyeballs out.
yeah.
That'd be cool though. Not gonna lie.
Wow, Yo Balor is brutal. But in all seriousness, this is something I've thought of as well. I even tweeted this.
Yeah,
If that was Seth's reaction to Ray losing a night, how is he going to react when Becky Lynch gives birth?
he's probably seen many birth videos before. I won't be surprised. That's how she feels every morning, Seth.
Morning
You're
sickness.
starting to feel like your life now.
Although, in my
Oh
personal
God.
opinion, I think Seth should have lost the match so he could actually take time off and be with Becky during her pregnancy.
I said that last week, but everyone was like, "Nah, Seth is going to freaking win." But like, he obviously did. I was thinking that as well because like you were going to lead into like Seth going away for many, many months and then coming back whenever he's ready or whenever Becky has the kid or whatever. But let's at the prolong, and I don't know how long Seth's going to be around, but he needs to leave sooner or later. Just
Yeah.
before December, but
I
you
believe
know,
she's due for December or January,
doing-
one of those two.
she's due in December apparently. So yeah.
So when it comes to that, when the time comes, we go to our optimistic Hall of Fame and awards show that year, which is as always going to be exciting, right?
Oh yeah.
Seth Rollins should go back to being with his wife.
Plus, I wanted to see Seth as a pirate.
Yeah,
The whole pirate meeting around on social media. I wanted to see that so badly.
Captain Jack Rollins.
Yes, like what? That was the one thing I wanted to see if his eye, like if he lost his eye. I was like, please, I just want to see that meme. And I'm not a big meme guy, but that would have been funny. Him just coming on Raw the next night with all pirated up or whatever.
Yeah, I remember the
that's
build.
so-
That reminds me of speaking of pirates. I remember the build to WrestleMania 36 before the COVID pandemic happened. Josh and I briefly changed our usernames to match pirate names. I said I'd call myself Captain Jack Maracle, and that was funny. And Josh was Long Neck Silver.
Yes, sir.
That worked very well. Anyways, I want to say I like the medical update they gave on Rey Mysterio, saying that if the damage to his eye was minimal, it would heal and he would regain his vision, which I think was a really good way of saying he could come back if he's going to anyway.
And people are saying, "Oh, Rey Mysterio is leaving the company. This and that. His contract expiring." Like, don't always read into the rumors and dirt sheets, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we should have said that about Dean Ambrose.
I know, right?
Yeah, well. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next match. The next match was for the Raw Women's Championship, and this was extremely controversial. Asuka versus Sasha Banks. It ended in a no contest officially. That's the official decision.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to get into this match. Oh, boy, do I have a lot to say.
Well then, be my guest.
All right, strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, because this might get controversial more than the freaking match. I thought this match was freaking terrible. This match, all I did during this match, first of all, I barely paid attention to it. I barely paid attention to this match. I was pretty much all on my phone the entire time during this match. And I love Asuka, and I especially love Sasha Banks. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if they're off or whatever. But towards like the beginning and the middle of this match, they literally had me I don't know what happened. Like, there was just something during this match that just put me out of it. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they were just not in tune. I don't know if they were like, this isn't going to work or anything. But like, this match was just not what I really expected. And I'm not trying to be a harsh critic out there to these two. I love these girls to death. But this match just, no. It wasn't for me. The ending was great. The ending sequence was great. They traded back and forth a little bit. I love that. That was great. But the beginning and middle of the match were just rest holds and freaking arm drags, and that's all I saw from this match. And I'm trying to give them both credit. I really am. I really am trying to give them both credit. Both girls are fantastic in the ring. Sasha's one of the best professional wrestlers out there in the world. So, same with Asuka. Same thing. But this match just, I don't know, something just didn't click. There was no clicking, in my opinion, with this match. And sure, you could say in the comments, oh, they've had great matches in the past. Yes, they have, but there was something, I don't know what it was, that just did not sit well with me during this match. In the ending, I was severely confused. I was like, what the heck is going on here? If you want to talk about that, Christian, I think I'm done talking about that.
All right. Yeah, sure. I got this one.
Right.
What happened at the end was, well, yes, Bailey got interfered several times. However, after which, since Bailey was trying to help Sasha cheat, Kairi Sane tried to help Asuka cheat, and well, gave her the green mist. She accidentally spit it in the referee's eyes, though, and as a result, Bailey interfered, attacked Asuka with the women's tag team title belt, removed the shirt off the referee, put it on, and counted for the win. But what I like is the timekeeper only rang the bell because Bailey was getting in his face, and the ring announcer was never once declared Sasha the new champion.
Nope.
Because she's not. Bailey, yeah, here's the thing. This pretty much answers the question. No, not anybody can just put on a random referee shirt and you be a referee. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
Bailey, Bailey was only going to be accompanying Sasha as her friend / cheerleader. You could call it that. She was not being given the authority to be a guest enforcer on the very case that a referee is down, and she was not a guest referee either. So it does not count. She wasn't an official referee, and thus Stephanie McMahon, I give her full props for saying that's not the case. This match ended in a no contest, and we're going to have a rematch to determine the real champion. As right now, Asuka is still the Raw Women's champion. Sasha Banks may have the physical belt, but it does not belong to her.
Nope. This was just a confusing moment.
That pissed me the fuck off, honestly. Y'all can look at my tweets.
I was really pissed. I was more like just severely confused. I was like, wait a minute. I was also yelling at my TV. I'm like, dude, like, I was waiting for a second referee to come out. I was like, or somebody to come out. I was like, she's not the champ. I was yelling at my TV. I'm like, you're not the champ. Shut up.
Exactly.
Like, oh my God. And then there were like people like, oh, she's the official champion, this and that, and this, and like, oh, she became the champ. You know, Banks 2 belts or whatever they're calling the stuff on social media or whatever. Like, no, she's not. Bailey's a wrestler, not a official. Seriously.
And she was not given the authority to be a guest referee either. That'd be the only occasion. That's the only occasion where she'd be allowed to. And you know what? Somebody actually responded to me on Twitter with.
What's that?
Okay, there's like, we'll go back to 98 Champions 2008. How do you explain the Edge versus Batista match where Chavo Guerrero was randomly given a spot as a referee and it was official? My response to that, sure, let's pretend Vicky Guerrero, the authority figure in charge, did not give him last-minute permission.
Exactly. Bailey has no authority figure. She's not an authority figure, period. She is a professional wrestler. You don't, like Christian said, that's like, okay, for example, that's like me climbing over the barricade if I was at a wrestling event, knocking the referee down, and somehow invading security or whatever, putting on a referee shirt and counting the 3 count and getting the heck out of there. It doesn't work like that. Not everyone can wear the referee shirt, period. Not like some random stranger on the freaking street. Give me a break.
Yep, that's just
it
was really
confusing.
Stupid, yes. I mean, I get that.
It's just so stupid.
I get that you're trying. It makes Bailey and Sasha look great as heels, yes. However, it makes Sasha look horrible as someone trying to win a title.
Exactly. You're going to resort to cheating like that, and I can understand what you're saying. Oh, she's a heel, this and that. She's trying to help her friend, this and that. That's still not how you go about it.
Bingo.
That's still not how you go about it, and I find this decision completely wrong.
So that's just WWE and Stephanie McMahon made the right choice declaring it a no contest. Asuka's is not an ex-champion anymore. She is still the champion. This upcoming Monday night on Raw, we're gonna have a rematch. Where if Bailey interferes, then of course then Sasha immediately loses. That includes if Bailey so much as gets on the fucking ring apron.
Yep.
Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Cheer for Sasha as loud as you want. Distract by yelling all you want. That's fine. That's totally fine. But just stay the fuck out of the match. It's not your business.
Seriously, stay out of the ring. Stay out of the match.
It's good.
It's none of your business. You're already a champion, anyways.
Think about this. It's good to help your friends, yes. But here's the thing. It's another thing. I always said this. Bailey won the match, not Sasha.
Exactly.
She's the one who did the hit on Asuka. She put Sasha on Asuka, and she counted the pinfall. Bailey won the match. However, of course,
just,
no
it's
contest.
so confusing.
Yep. And so I'm just glad that, hopefully on Monday Night Raw, we can have a legitimate finish here and we can get this freaking thing over with. And who knows? What'll happen if Bayley tries to interfere again, but this time it actually costs Sasha the win, and maybe that could finally ignite their feud.
I hope so.
We'll have to wait and see. Until then, folks, we can only talk about what we've seen at Extreme Rules. We can't talk about what's happening in the future because as much as the future can get predictable at times, it is still unknown.
Yeah, the Losers Lounge doesn't have a freaking magical ball.
I wish we did. That'd be freaking awesome, though.
I know, right? You gotta buy one.
I could totally use it. However, I'm honestly a guy who's like, I don't want to just look at the future because I want to experience it.
I'm kind of the same way.
All right, folks, we're going to move on to the next match. This is the WWE Championship match as Drew McIntyre defended against Dolph Ziggler in a match that, of course, was chosen by Dolph. And I actually admit it was a very smart decision by Dolph Ziggler. An Extreme Rules match. At first when I heard the match I choose is Extreme Rules, I was like, wow, all that build-up for that. And then all of a sudden he's like, but only for me. At that moment, I was like, and if Drew gets counted or disqualified, he loses the title. I'm like, holy shit, Dolph made a smart-ass move.
For once.
And you gotta admit.
I thought he was going to say the Claymore's banned too. That's what I legitimately thought was going to happen. It's like he was going to say, and one more thing, the Claymore's banned. I was like, perfect. But no, he didn't say that.
If he did that, then Drew could have won with a future shock.
Yes.
Or what if he finished Dolph with his own zigzag?
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
See it?
But yeah, because of the one-sided rules, Dolph Ziggler was the only one who could hang outside the ring as long as he wanted and use as many weapons as he wanted. Drew could not use a single weapon, and he was like, I actually like how the referee, this kind of felt weird, but it was cool to see the referee doing a count out, but it was only on Drew.
It was.
So if they were, I wish there was a moment where they were both on the outside of the ring, slowly getting toward the ring, and Drew gets in the ring. 9! He's in, but Dolph is still on the outside. And just imagine if we completely forgot that it was Extreme Rules for Dolph.
Exactly.
I would have been like, hey, you're supposed to keep... Oh, wait a minute.
So, that's right. The rules only apply to Drew. Never mind.
I really liked it, though, because it wasn't a long match, but it was actually pretty good.
What they do in the ring, they showcased a lot.
We all knew that Drew McIntyre was always going to retain the belt.
Yeah, obviously. It's just a little bump on the road to get him to SummerSlam.
Yep. And it just goes to show that just because you have the Extreme Rules stipulations to your advantage and the champion's advantage taken away from the champion, that doesn't always mean you're guaranteed to win. That's the lesson here.
Exactly.
This just proved how much Drew is great in the ring. He's fighting a guy who can use weapons and stay outside as long as he wanted, and he had champion's advantage on the risk of a counter or disqualification. And at the same time, Drew still won the match, fair and square, and it was amazing. It just goes to show how much of a great competitor Drew McIntyre is.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be honest, I give them 2 thumbs up for that.
Same.
What'd you think of the match and how it went down?
That was pretty good. I mean, these two obviously gel pretty well together from what I saw. And I mean, I kind of didn't pay attention. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really pay attention that much. I mean, the only time I looked up during the match was literally the ending when I saw the Claymore hit. I was like, oh, it's over already. That's why I was literally not looking at the match. But I had to go back and watch the next day. But what I saw, they did pretty good. Dolph, like, people may harp on Dolph Ziggler, but when the guy wants to go, he can go. He's a good workhorse out there. Sure, he's not really the main event that he wants to be in, whatever. But he is the most underrated talent out there, and I wish he'd be utilized a lot more better. Now, I'm not saying I'm a huge Dolph Ziggler fan, but come on. He's great at what he does. He's great at what he does. That's all I gotta say. So. Oh, and Drew's been a great champion. I've been seeing some people kind of harp on Drew McIntyre's reign as champion, saying, oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's another John Cena. They're comparing his character to John Cena, and they're comparing his run to John Cena's run from 2005 and all that stuff, when he was first champion, whatever. And they're saying that he's overrated this and that. Ay, ay, ay. Stick to your opinions, ladies and gentlemen. I think Drew McIntyre is a great champion.
Personally,
Leave
I
him
do
alone.
too. And as some people know, there was a time where during the COVID-19 pandemic and during my break from YouTube, I also took a break from wrestling because I just wasn't that interested in the crowdless events and whatnot. So I missed WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, but I did go back to rewatch those shows.
Mm.
So I watched them, and as you guys know by now, I've said WrestleMania, and Money in the Bank's coming up next week on the Sins videos. But yes, I admit, yes, Drew McIntyre, for what I've seen on his title defenses, he's been great. I mean, let's face it. Yes, his match with Brock Lesnar was, it sucked, obviously.
Yeah.
But Brock Lesnar just wasn't that interested in being there for like a crowdless show, and he just wanted to get it over with and put Drew over.
Exactly.
Which I'm totally fine with. Brock Lesnar has a lot of respect for Drew McIntyre.
Oh, yeah.
He wouldn't have done this if he did not. And of course, his let's be honest, like Drew's match with Seth Rollins in Money in the Bank, how good was that?
Yes. Such a good match.
Great title match, and Backlash against Bobby Lashley, even before Lana interfered, it was still a good match.
Oh, yeah.
And now, of course, Extreme Rules, sure, his match with Dolph Ziggler was kind of slow and at the same time short, but you know, it's okay. He still did good.
Exactly.
He had pretty much every single odd you can think of against him, and he won.
Mm-hmm.
This was to showcase Drew's amazing abilities as a champion, and whoever he faces off at SummerSlam, it should be hopefully a great match, whether he retains the title or loses the title. It should be a great match.
He needs to retain, in my opinion, because I think Drew... I see this with McIntyre. I see him as like... Because Roman Reigns is absent. We don't know when Roman Reigns is coming back. I think he's the temporary, right now, new Roman Reigns right now until the big dog comes back. I see Drew as like...
Well, actually, here's the thing. Drew is on Raw. Reigns is on SmackDown.
Well, so... Well, face of the company, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say.
If we want to talk on that side, then yeah. If we're talking on the Raw side, then yeah, you're pretty much right on that case.
Yeah. Like you have two big faces of the company right there, McIntyre and Drew. But I see Drew as like the flag bearer of Raw, obviously. He hasn't... The one thing I don't like about Drew's reign is it's not his fault, period. It's the fault of creative. It's that McIntyre really hasn't been placed in high-profile segments. He's usually like the third segment of the shows.
I know. Like, he's the WWE champion. He should either be opening or ending.
That's exactly what I've been saying. Like he's really been put in the back burner. Like it's like Kofi's reign from last year. Kofi was never in main events. Kofi was never, well, besides SmackDown, but whatever. We're not gonna talk about that.
It was like even Kofi Kingston's title reign. It was still New Day this and New Day that in the mid card area.
Exactly, and pancakes and all that stuff. He had a good run. Kofi.
It was a good run. Yes. The one thing, of course, I was just disappointed of was they still focus more on New Day. I kind of kept thinking that they were going to try and use the Freebird rule in that title or something.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But I also see some comparisons to Kofi's reign from last year with Drew. Like, you beat this big... Well, I wouldn't say Daniel Bryan's nowhere near big, but you know what I mean.
If we're talking wrestler abilities, then yes, Kofi beat a big opponent in Daniel Bryan.
Oh, yeah, but like you beat this disgusting, this malicious, this maniacal heel in Daniel Bryan, whereas Drew beat this dangerous monster in Brock Lesnar, and you put these people in front of him. For Kofi, it was obviously Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar.
Don't forget
For Drew, it's been... Huh?
Don't forget Samoa Joe.
Yeah, Samoa Joe. I almost forgot about that. And Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
for Drew, it's been...
That's just a good point right there. You said, I almost forgot about Samoa Joe. That's the sad part.
Exactly.
We're not supposed to nearly forget about Samoa Joe.
He's on commentary nowadays. He's doing great.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to go too long on this. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing so many comparisons to, like, Kofi's reign from last year with Drew. Drew's never been put in high-profile segments besides opening the show, like, last week, I believe, or whatever, and that's it. And 2 weeks ago. That's it. He's never been put in, like, a high-profile, credible thing. He's the main champion on there. He's the face of the freaking brand right now. Like, what else do you need? I don't want to complain on this too much because I'm a huge Drew McIntyre fan. This is why I'm kind of getting upset at this because, like, you need to be like the face and you need to be like the standard bearer, not being put on the pedestal like 3 or second. You need to be number one. And all I'm seeing at number one and number two, no offense to these gentlemen at all, Rey Mysterio and Rollins, and obviously you got what's the other segment? What is the other segment on Raw? Is that it? Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, and that's it.
Don't forget Randy.
That's about it.
Randy Orton, Ric Flair,
Randy,
Big Show.
Randy Orton. I almost forgot about Randy Orton. Randy Orton's the number one thing on Raw.
That's what I'm thinking.
Like, Drew is like
Randy Orton should be next with the title, honestly.
I've been calling this for months, and I think it's happening. Randy Orton and Drew at SummerSlam.
And not just because he won the so-called greatest wrestling match ever. It's because Randy's been doing a hell of a job since his feud with Edge. Actually, it's because of his feud with Edge. Don't think about it. Look at 2020. Basically, ever since Edge returned, Randy Orton's been one of the top things.
Oh, yeah. Top things on every single show. Every single pay-per-view we've had, every single Raw segment we've had. Randy Orton is in the best prime of his life. This Randy Orton is, in my opinion, a little bit more better than 2018 Randy Orton when he was feuding with Jeff Hardy.
I would say, that's why I'm saying that Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, they could put on a great WWE title match at SummerSlam. And here's the thing, yes, folks, we already know SummerSlam is going to be at the Performance Center like the others. You might as well just get used to the fact that all the shows are going to be at the Performance Center for the foreseeable future.
Exactly. Like, I hate saying this, ladies and gentlemen, but you need to get used to the PC. I mean, who knows when crowds start to come back? You're probably going to miss the Performance Center. I know we're going way off topic, and I do apologize for going off on this tangent here. But this needed to be said, because I've never seen anybody else in the community say some of this stuff about Drew McIntyre and his run as champion and the people he's been put up against. I really hope that, and he'll probably I don't know, I have no crystal ball, but he'll probably lose to Randy Orton at SummerSlam if it happens, because Randy Orton doesn't need to be beaten. Randy Orton does not need to be beaten, period. Not now, not until Edge comes back. But I just hope that Drew gets put in more bigger segments, and if they do Randy Orton and Drew, he is in the big segment. He will be in the number one things on the show. Because it's with somebody who, is the big high focal point on Raw.
That's true.
I just wish that you do something with, just stop. Like, stop making him number 3. It pisses me off.
It's a very, very unfortunate thing. Very unfortunate.
Seriously.
All
That's
right,
for all the McIntyre fans out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Anyways, we're gonna go back, and now we're gonna go on to the main event of Extreme Rules. And this is a good thing that was the main event: the Wyatt swamp fight between Braun Strowman and the Eater of Worlds. And
this was so weird.
It was very weird because, as we know, this was, of course, not even a match. Hell, it's called a swamp fight, not a swamp match.
I kept calling a swamp fight on Twitter.
So, as you all know, I like how it was obviously, as you know, a cinematic match and everything. Pretty much, there's been at least one cinematic match for every pay-per-view. The only times, in my opinion, where it just wasn't good enough was, for example, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream in the parking lot brawl. That was horrible.
That was terrible.
It was. And that brawl between the Viking Raiders and Street Profits at Backlash was okay, but it was a little bit funny. It was just weird as hell.
It was funny and somewhat racist, but whatever. I don't know about you people out there, but I just want to say this about that segment. That segment to me had me laughing. I don't know why, but that whole segment with the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits had me laughing so hard. I don't know why. Oh my God, it was so funny.
I can't believe they actually made Ivar use the Force to get a turkey leg to him.
I know, right?
I even said to myself, wow, I've been making Star Wars references for years and they finally did it.
The one thing, before we move on with I guess we can talk about, since there's a cinematic match. I've seen people criticize saying WWE is overusing the cinematic matches. They need to start doing more regular matches and more stipulated matches.
Well, they are.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's the thing. You don't see a cinematic match every single week. There's like only one per pay-per-view. The rest of it is on the show. It's just a regular match.
I remember, like, how we were feeling when the first one happened. I believe it was the Undertaker and AJ Styles.
Yep.
That was the first one. The first cinematic match we ever saw in this company ever do. We were blown away by it. And now people are starting like, oh, it's getting old. Oh, this and that. Oh, it's terrible. You need to stop doing these. Why? I don't get it.
Here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. When you hardly have we have little to no audience, or a majority of your audience is Performance Center recruits, you have free reign to customize things. It's like saying, it's like they opened a toolbox and said, have fun. Come up with something cool.
That's kind of his play toys right there, but you're not going to be, you're always out there and you're like, oh, there's too much of this, there's too much of that, this and that. Like, I don't understand. Like, I personally, I mean, I can't speak for everybody out there, obviously, but I personally enjoyed the cinematic matches. Sure, there were duds. Adam Cole Dream. But there were good ones. AJ Styles and Undertaker. Freaking, obviously, the Swamp Fight, as we're going to get into.
The Firefly Funhouse was actually weird, but I actually thought it was cool. And that one felt more like a match where we felt like we were on drugs.
That felt more like a legit movie than anything.
Yeah.
Out of all of them.
My personal favorite, however, is the Money in the Bank match.
That one's not being topped, in my opinion. That was just fantastic. Oh, my God. That's the one thing we're going to look back on.
I actually like
the BS in the world right now.
I remember when I first heard about it. I'm like, wait, it's happening at their I'm like, wait, hold a second. It's at the global headquarters. How's that gonna work? And when I looked and when I watched the tutorial video on how that was working, I was like, I know we're off topic, but we're talking cinematic matches, and this is a cinematic match, so it's kind of still the topic.
Yeah,
but I want to say for the Money in the Bank situation, what I really liked was the setup of the ring on the roof. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, why couldn't they have the whole show up there?
That's what I was wondering. Like, they didn't really, it was the only thing that pretty much made sense, I guess. But I was wondering, I loved how most people got thrown off the roof. That was just we obviously knew.
And it was perfect, in my opinion. A lot of people were skeptical about both the men and women starting at the same time. But let's face it, based on how it looked, if they were happening at separate times, it kind of would have been boring and too long.
I was envisioning, looking back, I was envisioning, the women starting out the show, and with their match, you do the men. With them doing it both together, it made it more interesting and funnier. The food fight, for example, was hilarious.
Yeah, I'll be honest, here's the thing, if the Losers Lounge and some other, a YouTube stable got to compete in a type of match like that, I think we would have done it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And what I also liked was the cameos, of course, obviously.
Oh, cameos were great.
And the one thing, of course, that they just did what they could to make it look great, and that's why we give them props for that. And the same thing can be said about the Swamp Fight we're about to talk about right here. Yes, in a way, you could say Bray Wyatt won the match because The Fiend was the one who appeared last.
Pretty much. And Braun Strowman, people are saying, is he dead? I mean, I guess we're going to find out on SmackDown. I don't think he's dead. I think he's just reborn. People were telling me that was the lake of reincarnation. I cracked up so hard.
Yeah, well, the problem is Matt Hardy is on the other side of said lake.
Exactly. And then on that lake, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. However, I just want to point out, when AEW did that cinematic match in that stadium, I liked it.
That was good. I really enjoyed that match. That was good. We need to do more of that. Come on. I mean, most wrestling companies should be doing this, in my opinion. I know WWE started it, but I really am, that's the one thing. I really am hoping that they keep the cinematic matches even when crowds come back, because I am really enjoying them. Yeah. Really enjoying them.
If like I've always said, if done properly, it'll look great. The Adam Cole Velveteen Dream was horrible because it was less of a brawl and more of a hide-and-seek game.
And they're just the camera shots, and especially there were a few things that I was questioning. I was like, what is this? Why is there a random person driving up to the freaking fight and just picking them up? I was like, what the heck? It was very confusing during that match.
But
not to mention...
Oh my God, I just now remembered. You know what didn't make sense about that match as well?
What's that?
When the Undisputed Era came in and blinded Velveteen with their headlights, I'm like, one pair of headlights blinds Velveteen, but 10 of the 10 pairs around the ring does not.
That was very confusing. There were obviously some good spots with Adam Cole, going off the ladder and stuff, Panama Sunrise and chairs, and that was it. Yeah, but the rest of it was very confusing. Especially the one thing I did not like, and we do apologize for going way off topic, ladies and gentlemen. It's our podcast, and we can talk about whatever we freaking want.
And we're talking about cinematic matches, so it counts.
Exactly. We never had a chance to talk about these. The one thing that I was there was the hide and seek part where Dream was trying to find Cole. That was stupid. Just straight up stupid.
I mean, he was even yelling, "Adam, where are you?" I'm like, he's hiding from you. Is he just going to say, "I'm over here"?
Exactly. It was just so freaking bad. And even the setting they were in. I know they were in a bat lot or whatever the heck. Well, they were a Disney World or something. It was so freaking weird.
And also, I have all respects to Mauro Ranallo, but he botched so many times in that match because
oh my God.
Velveteen Dream clearly hit a Dream Valley driver on Adam in
Yeah.
the ring, and he said that was a Panama Sunrise, and then Cole into the cover.
Mm.
I'm like, are you serious?
I love Ronaldo, but he can also really
Yeah.
fuck up the others. But that's the one thing about the cinematic match that I'm hoping they keep. Just keep the matches. I know some people are getting tired of them and stuff like that, but there are other alternatives out there that you can enjoy.
You gotta freshen up the look and make sure that when you're doing the cinematic match, it's not the same thing. I mean, when people want to go see a movie, they don't want to see the same movie in the sequel.
Exactly. Like, you don't want to see the same thing in the sequel, and obviously you don't want to see the same scenes over and over and over again. It makes it seem repetitive.
Mm-hmm. That's the case.
It's just the one where it's like, oh, yeah, I've seen this before. Oh, this is the same set off from the other movie.
And before anybody says anything, no, we're not counting the Disney's Lion King, because we knew that was going to be a freaking remake. That's what the whole point of that was.
Yep. It still going to be remake shot for shot and all that stuff, but it's like what you mentioned, it's like the Disney remakes they're doing.
Yeah.
Think of the WWE stuff as like the remakes that we're getting.
However, Disney. What I like about the Disney, this is kind of a shot here, but I can't believe I would say this. Disney performs their remakes better than WWE does, because even in the Disney remakes, they actually upgrade things and change a few things to make it look cool.
Yeah.
They don't make it the same.
Yeah.
While keeping the same story, they explore.
They go outside their normal comfort zone to go and do things that are risque. With the E, they will go out of their bubble sometimes. It's very rarely, but they'll just stay in that dramatic this formula that they like to stick to. They're like, oh, our fans are freaking dumb, and let's give them what they want. They'll listen. They'll feed off anything because we're freaking in control and they're sheep.
Yeah, and when AEW did that Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing, they customized and they explored their options because they're in a gigantic freaking stadium.
There were many things that kept me interested in the Stadium Stampede match. The entrances alone were funny. The chasing of Hangman Page was hilarious. Matt Hardy in the freaking pool, which had me cracking up so freaking hard. Oh my god! Even the ending was fantastic.
Poor Sammy Guevara. Oh my god, that was brutal.
Shout out to my boy Sammy Guevara, who just returned on AEW this week, baby.
Yep, welcome back, Sammy. We missed you.
And see, we love AEW. Calm down in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
We go way off topic. Who cares? Anyways, let's move on.
Yes, we're going to talk about the swamp fight here. What happened? What I really liked at some point during the swamp fight is Braun Strowman was destroyed by his former self.
That was just.
I thought it was Rowan for a second.
That's what I thought. I was like, it's Eric Rowan. And we looked up. I saw the pants. I'm like, wait a second.
It's Eric Rowan. And then it's Braun Strowman. I was like, wait, what?
Exactly. I was like, wait, what?
I like Bray Wyatt's promo to Strowman while he was strapped to that chair.
That was weird.
He would destroy him to make him anew.
I was like kind of uncomfortable with that.
His old self has been trapped inside his mind thanks to the Fiend. That was damn. And can we also talk about Alexa Bliss's appearance?
Oh my god, I marked that so hard.
I was like, holy shit!
Oh my gosh. The one thing I loved about going back to the 7 with Braun in the woodshed or whatever, that sounds weird. Braun in the woodshed with all the creepy dolls and whatever, and Bray cutting the promo. That reminded me of something from Saw, the Saw movies. That just, his promo, his delivery, and Braun just struggling to break free and whatever, and then Sister Abigail coming in and, getting a snake to bite him. I thought Braun was dead after that. Because
Braun did mention that he remember that story he told about Braun about Bray in the Iba where Bray got bit by a water moccasin. I think that was a water moccasin.
Yep. That was just fantastic, and just
I made a funny joke by saying, "Oh my God, it's Jake the Snake."
That's what I was saying. And the visual of Alexa Bliss, that was great.
And I just want to take this moment. Alexa Bliss, folks, no, she is not Sister Abigail.
No, that was just, I believe, Sister Abigail takes form of somebody's, I guess, I know how it goes.
This illusion implies that Braun Strowman had a love interest in her.
Yes.
And what I like is the last time they were a team was the Mixed Match Challenge, and in 2017, but even then, they still kept in touch.
Exactly. It made sense. I loved how they put that in there. I freaking lost my mind. I was like, what? Oh, my God, that made me go insane. Then there was the fight on the dock, which I thought was hilarious. The one thing I started cracking up hard at was when they were on like the pier or whatever, and Brace just starts beating the living heck out of him with an oar.
Yep.
That was, oh my God, that was funny.
And then, of course, Bray Wyatt got a choke slam into a boat that sailed off into the distance.
It had to hurt.
Yep.
And, oh my God, and he came back and like, I thought somebody else was going to come back on the boat. I was thinking like, I legitimately thought Eric Rowan was going to show up in this match.
It couldn't have been Luke Harper, obviously.
Yeah, that would have been funny though. Just Brody Lee or Luke Harper, whatever he's called now, showing up. That would have been hilarious.
But also, another thing, the one thing I was disappointed of, we hyped this up last week, I was disappointed. Where the fuck were the alligators? Yeah,
there were no alligators chomping at people. He should have thrown him in the water and the alligator should have taken care of him. But nope. He drowned him. And there were weird moments during this match where they simulated drowning. It was so weird. I love how Bray just held Braun underwater and like he started struggling and he just like let go. And like we just cut to a different shot. It's just and Bray's just getting out of the water and shit like that. Oh my God. No, it was
use the mandible claw to pull Braun into.
I think it was Braun who did that.
Yeah.
And he gets yeah. He gets out of the water, and they show the graphic down below. You know the graphic that they show when they're about to leave a show or whatever. They show the graphic, and he's like, "It's over." They show the graphic, and oh my God, that there was a jump scare during that when like Bray popped out of the way. It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's great horror right there. Make us think it's over, and then boom, jump scare.
He freaking popped out of the water. He dragged him. That scared the living crap. I had my volume all the way up too because like I couldn't hear whatever. That scared the living crap out of me. It worked though. That like never. And it's been a long time since pro wrestling has made me had a jump scare. Yep. Last time it happened was when Kane's Pyro happened, but you know that was a long time ago.
That's kind of a natural thing.
Oh yeah, like, that's a great thing right there. Just drug him in the water and then Fiend pops out. Everything during this match or this fight was just perfect. Now, was it the best cinematic match?
Probably not, but it's up there to. It was enough that we could say we were entertained by it.
I would love to see a rematch. I would love to see anybody in these cinematic things doing a rematch with any of these. Like I said, I hope they keep them.
I'll be doing Strowman and The Fiend at SummerSlam now.
Yep, looks like it.
And speaking of The Fiend, of course, the last thing we saw was The Fiend, like, appearing out of the water. And I like how it rose and looked directly at the camera.
That was scary as that. And then there's fade to black. They even showed the logo. They just, like, fade to black. And I look at my friend, and I'm like, what the heck did we just watch? That was the first thing that came out of my mouth. I was like,
The Fiend has been around for over a year. The Fiend has been around for over a year, and it still freaks the fuck out of me.
Oh my God, that was just fantastic.
Yeah, people always keep asking me why do I keep calling it an it? Because I'm like, because it is an it. That's not a freaking human.
Exactly. It doesn't have an agenda. It doesn't have anything like that. It is a freaking.
It could be Pennywise for all we know.
Oh, now you got me thinking about a tag team with Pennywise and the Fiend. Great. And Chucky.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was our review on Extreme Rules, and I'll be honest, I give it a 6 out of 10.
Me, I gave it on Twitter a 7 because 2 reasons. 1, I really enjoyed Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. And 2, I really enjoyed the swamp fight. The only reason I gave it a 7. And I'm sticking to it. Actually,
okay.
Let me lower a little bit. I give it a 6.5. 6.5.
Yep.
Wasn't for that awful match with Sasha Banks and Asuka. Once again, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. If I offend anybody out there. No, I don't. Is what it is.
We don't apologize for giving out our opinion because we know we're not sounding sexist or racist or anything with "sist" at the end of it because we're just saying our opinions on what we look at in the ring. This has nothing to do with gender or race or anything whatsoever.
or anything like that. So calm yourself down in the comments below. All right. Anyways, that's all we got.
Well, SummerSlam will be next on our list, so it's going to be a few more weeks before you will see us again.
Yes,
however, whatever happens at SummerSlam, happens at SummerSlam.
And then you will see us at SummerSlam. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get, as Christian said, it's time to get used to the PC, because we're going to be in there for a while.
Yeah, well, I'm used to it by now, honestly.
I'm going to miss it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to miss it when we ever go back to the crowds or whatever. And ladies and gentlemen, I give this event, as I said, 6 out of 10.
You said 7.
But
you said 7.
I'm going to give the event 6 out of 10.
Yay! Nice. We boasted 6 there.
Yeah, 6.
I also want to take note as well, folks, that yes, as times go on, we will not just talk about WWE events, but also AEW. The next time you see us, however, we'll be leading into SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver 30. That's what it's called.
Oh my God, I can't wait. We already got one match announced.
We'll have
Lee vacated the North American Championship, and they're going to be having a ladder match.
We'll have a lot to talk about. Yep, we'll have a lot to talk about when those weeks come, and it's going to be fantastic.
People are telling me it looks like a porn sign. It's so funny.
Yeah, I was the one who did not make a porn reference. I made a Xander Cage reference. You know, see the Vin Diesel movie?
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie?
I saw them. Actually, no, I haven't.
Yeah, you should. It's pretty good. It's a great action film.
I love Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin Diesel's legendary. All right, folks, this is going to conclude this review of Extreme Rules, the horror show. Tune in for this upcoming Sunday for more Maracle Gaming as I continue playing GTA 5 Sumos with Longneck Josh, Amanda, and Logan on monster trucks this time. So, and the following week, we will begin my run-through of The Last of Us Part 2.
Yes, sir.
All right. In the meantime, though, we will see you guys on the next podcast, which will not be until, like I said, SummerSlam weekend. So we have a nice long break. Hugh Balor, take us away.
We are the losers, and this is our lounge. And you guys are just listening and watching us. Oh, and no more trying to bust into it. Bye-bye.